Good morning, everyone. I'm Olivia Jolas for Boca Magazine, and this is our very first Facebook Live chat of the year. So happy New Year to our viewers and happy New Year to our guests. We are joined by Marius Jed, Managing Partner of Jed Lawyers, and J. Albert Johnson, Senior Trial Counselor, also at Jed Lawyers. It's so nice to see you, gentlemen. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Olivia. Great to see you again.
Great to see you. It's been a while. How have you all been?
Thank you. Everyone's been good. We've been dealing with this recent surge in the Omicron. We were actually going to open the office this coming January, but lo and behold, we've regrouped and kind of continued our hybrid model. And we're just, it's like we just spoke off camera before. This stuff is running around everywhere. Everyone's family's affected. Everyone's business is affected. So I just hope everyone remains calm and just is able to have some fun. That's important too.
Absolutely. I know we're nearing 2 years of this. So it's crazy times, but we are here to talk about PIP reform. And this has been a topic that we have discussed in the past, and it's still coming back. So Al, please, kind of fill our viewers in on PIP and, what is at stake right now.
Yes, and Happy New Year to you, Olivia. We have often said on this program that we are a full service law firm, and we really are. And amazingly, even though many of our people are working away from the office, we have 104 employees, and they're very active every day. And we have found that contrary to what we had expected, that the production of the office is rather increased with our paralegals, with our legal assistants, and with our lawyers, so that we're really ready, willing, and able to accept all of the new challenges that have come forward as a result of COVID and as a result of people coming from other states into the state of Florida. And I think that's important because we have had a tremendous influx of people coming in. I think the governor said over 100,000 people have come into the state of Florida as a result of the difficulties up north with the COVID and of course the weather, which is a feature of the state of Florida, the Sunshine State, which invites everyone into our state. So we've had a great influx of people from other states coming into the state of Florida who are unacquainted with our particular laws, especially with regard to PIP. Now, most states, all except for 9 left, have regular insurance. So you buy insurance to protect yourself against the transgressions of others on the highway and to protect others against whatever might be your negligence. In Florida, contrary to that, we have a no-fault system, which means that everyone in Florida is required, in order to register a vehicle, to have what's called PIP insurance, personal injury protection insurance. And it provides that regardless of who's at fault in the accident, there are benefits to be paid. The benefits are paid by insurance companies to whoever makes a claim with regard to 80% of their medical bills, 60% of their lost wages, $5,000 in death benefits, and other things which Marty will tell you a little bit about in a minute. It's very important that people understand that the first thing that you should do if you're involved in a motor vehicle accident in the state of Florida, other than take care of yourself, obviously, get the medical attention required that you need if you're involved in a serious accident, is to contact counsel. It's a little bit confusing for people coming in from other states about how you make a claim in the state of Florida for personal injuries. You have to show that there is a serious permanent injury, and you have to be seen by an appropriate medical facility within 14 days. Those things are very important. So to begin with, before we say anything more, the first thing that these people should do, especially if you're coming in new to our state, is to contact an attorney, contact a personal injury attorney the minute you're involved in an accident. And of course, that goes without saying that Jed Lawyers is uniquely qualified to represent people involved in motor vehicle accidents. We have secured great benefits for people who have come to us over the years as a result of motor vehicle accidents. So
And
it's
Olivia,
really,
if I may just add to this. So last year, there was a lot of legislative banter back and forth between the House and the House of Representatives and the Senators, where they actually passed a bill and sent it to the governor to repeal this PIP. It is a really big deal, and I'm going to explain to you what's going on in the current landscape. Last year, the Senate and the House agreed to send a bill to the governor, which would repeal this no-fault insurance, and it would replace it with mandatory bodily injury. And what that did is it would increase the consumers and the people who buy insurance, you and me, their rates by significant amounts. And there's all different examples of that, which I'm going to explain. But by a minimum of 15 to 20%, your insurance will go up. Thank God for our wonderful governor, who I believe is doing an amazing job in the state. He vetoed that. So we were one vote away last year from becoming a mandatory bodily injury state, removing this PIP. And just to kind of break it into simple terms, in the state of Florida, as Alan mentioned, that God forbid you get into an auto accident, Olivia, and you hurt yourself, you have $10,000 of coverage to take care of your own body, regardless of who's at fault, whether it was your fault, a single car accident, whether someone hit you. And practically speaking, why that's so important is it allows you to get swift medical attention, to get back on your feet, to go to work, to go back to work, take care of your family, continue your household duties or your job duties, whatever those duties may be. And the system, although not perfect, has its flaws, really helps the normal person, the regular person, get back to work quickly. And that's what that system was designed to do. It came into effect in 1971 and has still remained the law of the state of Florida since. Contrary to what they were trying to do, and still are trying to do this year, they're trying to get rid of that $10,000 PIP, and they're trying to require every person in the state of Florida to have mandatory $25,000 of bodily injury and $50,000 in the aggregate. And what does that mean? The simple case I'm going to use you again. God forbid you get into an auto accident, someone rear ends you and you hurt yourself. Now you don't have that $10,000 of insurance. You have to either go to a doctor and pay out of pocket or use your health insurance if you have it. And in the state of Florida, there's over 4 million people who don't have health insurance. So if you go to the ER, you go to a doctor, that bill doesn't get paid unless you pay on your credit card, you pay individually, you have health insurance, and that burden now becomes your bill. And the only way you get paid your money back is to hire a lawyer. And I'm all for obviously creating good claims, but you have to now hire a lawyer to sue that other person to get paid. So really what you're doing is you're actually going to be creating more litigation, clogging the courthouses with a bunch of personal injury cases, whereby the people are suing to get their medical bills paid, where conversely, the system actually works and allows people to get their medical bills paid right now. That $10,000 is so important. So what they're trying to do again this year, Representative Grawl filed her bill again, and she's trying to again get the attraction of the senators to file a bill to replace PIP and to get rid of the no-fault system, which we are extremely opposed to. We are going to continue to lobby for our clients and for the citizens of the state of Florida that the governor understands what's right and how this affects people. And as a matter of fact, when the governor received the bill last year, there was no support or no evidence or reporting to give him the information of how much it would increase rates. Mm-hmm. So as any legislature, that in the federal system, they call it scoring, where they score the bill and they project what it's going to cost and how it's going to be funded. It's similar here. So the governor, vis-a-vis the Department of Insurance, hired a actuarial company called Pinnacle. And they produced this report that said, if the legislature were to pass this bill, what would be the economic effect to to the state of Florida's consumers. And Pinnacle clearly pointed out that it would be a drastic increase in premiums, and the governor wholeheartedly will not do that right now, given the state of the economy, given the COVID, given the issues that are going on in the country and in the state of Florida. We again hope he won't do it, but the Florida legislature is trying to pass it.
That's my, my next question then. We elect these public officials, to represent us and, basically the residents, the consumers. So why is it that they really want to pass this new bill? Like, what is it for them, since it's really not advantageous for the regular us?
So I'm going to break it down into very simple economics. Right now, when there's an auto accident, there's about 30% of the people don't have this bodily injury coverage because you're not required. By changing this law, it's going to create every single auto accident case is going to have coverage, and it's going to create the personal injury lawyers and generally the advertising lawyers who you see on TV. Every case will now be a lawsuit because there's coverage. So unfortunately, I don't believe that's the right thing. I'm a lawyer and I do personal injury cases as well. We do boutique cases, as Al has mentioned. We are not the guys on TV advertising, although we do limited advertising, but we're not a volume shop in that regard. But it's going to create litigation, and it's going to create, it's going to make the personal injury lawyers very rich. That's my opinion.
I want to jump in if I can and indicate forcefully as I can. If you come into the state of Florida, or if you live here now, and you have only PIP insurance, it's not adequate. Mm-hmm. You need to go to your insurance agent, your insurance company, and buy bodily injury insurance of limits of at least 100,000, 300,000, which means 100,000 for each person involved in the accident, and up to 300,000 for each happening. It's very, very important that people understand that the PIP insurance is not adequate, because there are many, many, many people riding around the state of Florida with no insurance at all on their vehicles. So that's why it's important not only to have bodily injury coverage, but also to have uninsured or underinsured coverage. If there's any one thing that I want to make clear, if you drive a car in the state of Florida, you should have bodily injury protection insurance, which you got to have PIP insurance. You got to have regular bodily injury coverage, fault insurance, and you've got to absolutely positively must have uninsured or underinsured motorist coverage. Really, really important in the state of Florida to have. It has been said that 70% of the vehicles on Route 95 south of Miami have no coverage whatsoever. And that's easily done. Individuals who want to defeat the system simply go into a tag agency, they buy a year's worth of coverage and then not pay for it except for a down payment, and they get plates on their vehicle. So it's very, very important that you understand, that everyone understands, especially those who are coming into Florida for the first time and going to live here with us. It's very, very important that they understand you must go to your insurance company, your insurance agent, and get personal injury, bodily injury protection. It's really, really important that you have excess coverage, 100, 300, and unregistered, uninsured, and underinsured vehicle coverage.
Yeah, that's a great tip, Al. I think, at least you're driving, you're out on the road, and you at least have a little bit more of peace of mind, especially now with so many more cars out on the road. So really good tip there. Yeah. Yeah,
the PIP insurance, by the way, does do some things that we're most in favor of course. And one of the most important things is it provides $5,000 for a death benefit if an accident involves a death. And that's been very, very important, especially for us, because we're able to tell individuals involved in fatal accidents that there's a $5,000 benefit which they can get, and which we help them get initially if there's a fatal accident, God forbid, involved.
Yeah. And Marty, for us, Florida residents, what can we do in terms of helping to stop this bill being approved? Is there a petition that we can sign, write to the governor? I mean, what can we do?
Sure, great question. Everyone has legislatures in their district, so the best thing to do is Google who your state senator is and your state House of Representative is. And what I urge people to do is understand the issue, which we're trying to bring to light here today. Thank you, Olivia. And then email them and tell them to not vote for this. This is going to increase our insurance premiums, everyone in the state, and it's not a good bill. It's very simple. Who wants to right now in an inflation economy? Everything's going up no matter what. My insurance every year goes up. I've never gotten a reduction. And increase it by another 30%. I think you and I can afford it, Olivia, but I think it's still not fun. And I think there's a lot of people where it's going to be a decision between making an insurance payment or not. And I think when it's your mortgage or your lights or your food come first before your insurance.
Yeah.
I don't think it's unknown that insurance companies do not pay just losses. They simply don't. They don't pay what's legally required of them to pay when there's an automobile accident. Because of that, Jed Lawyers represents many of medical providers, of chiropractors, of medical providers, doctors, and imaging facilities, and so anyone connected with the medical industry following an accident. And we represent a number of those people in bringing claims against insurance companies for the money that they do not pay. The insurance companies do not pay to healthcare providers. There are many healthcare providers out there who simply accept short money paid by insurance companies when they need counsel. And that's what we do. We represent the medical providers, many of them, in claims against insurance companies in order to get full compensation for injuries and bills according to the damages received in motor vehicle accidents.
Yeah. Well, also very good to know. So, any final input on this topic before we close out our Facebook Live chat?
Be involved, don't stay on the sidelines, email your legislatures, be informed, because the people in Tallahassee do make the laws that affect our 22 million people in the state. And either you're going to be involved or you're just going to take it. So I'd rather be involved and try to support what's good and oppose what's not good.
Yeah, Marty already pointed out, and I think it's worth repeating, that when the legislature passed this bill, which would have eliminated PIP insurance, there was no figures, no up-to-date figures as to how it would affect the bills of the day-to-day motorists. There was nothing. And due to the governor's insistence, a study was had, and that study concluded clearly that insurance rates in the state of Florida would increase substantially if there was a revocation of no-fault insurance. So it's very important that people contact their state representatives, as Marty said. But the most important thing I want to convey during this meeting with us is make sure when you come into this state, make sure that you contact your insurance agent immediately. Make sure you get adequate coverage. Make sure you get fault coverage, if you will, of at least $100,000, $300,000 worth of benefits. Make sure you get uninsured, underinsured coverage. Make sure you have all those things in addition to the PIP insurance, which you must have. And much more importantly, I think, if you're involved in a motor vehicle accident, call your lawyer. Call Jed Lawyers, 561-995-1966 immediately, so that we can help you do what is right and get you the compensation you deserve.
Yeah, and get medical assistance within 14 days, right? So
absolutely.
Listen, gentlemen, always so nice to chat with you. My last question, it's always the fun one. And being that we are in January of 2022, do you set resolutions? Is there something that you hope to accomplish or do this year? Marty?
You are, okay, I thought you were gonna go to Al first.
No.
So I think resolutions are set up for a failure personally. I like to work on goals and different objectives for the plan. I actually do shut down the last 2 weeks of December and try to plan for the next year, making certain personal goals and professional goals, but I'm not a resolutioner.
That's great. And what about you, Al?
I want to make sure this year, especially with the COVID over 2 years old, that we thank all of our employees for what they have done to make this law firm the best one in the United States of America. I want to make sure that the partners of this firm, and I in particular, thank them for the work that they have done in order to protect the motoring public, in order to protect people who rely upon us for their advice.
Indeed, challenging times, but you're all here, which is great. And we so appreciate your time as always and your wealth of information. I've missed seeing you guys the past few weeks. So nice to see you again. And, thanks again for your time.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Olivia.
Olivia.
Great to reconnect.
Thank you. Have a great weekend. And to our viewers, thank you so much for tuning in. Have a great Thursday, a great weekend. Until next time, bye.